Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. No cam today, I'm just too tired from work to do all the makeup and the hair and all the pretty stuff. So we're trying something new today. I've never done this type of video before, but I've always wanted to do a story time, and people ask me all the time on stream about how I started Twitch streaming, how I got into it, and just what inspired me to become a Twitch streamer, so here's the story. So I was a sophomore in college attending Penn State University, and I just transferred out to the main campus from the satellite campus to start my second year of school. And to me, this was like a super critical time to be getting involved in clubs and sports and different activities, to meet a lot of people and establish a friend group and do all the social things in college. So I signed up for a club sport, which was Quidditch. Harry Potter Quidditch. It's a story for a different day, but signed up with a few friends of mine from my major, and I also opted to get a part-time job as a campus lifeguard because I was a lifeguard when I was home for the summers and I already had the certifications and I wanted some money. I probably got about 2 months into the semester and about a month or so into both of the activities before everything went wrong. So how Penn State University Park campus works is you have this big, huge campus with all the different dorm areas, educational buildings, lab, etc., all dispersed by like the school subject. And then at the edge of campus is the downtown area. And downtown has a lot of bars, restaurants, clubs, shops, apartments, and it's just part of what makes PSU like a little city. And it's super common for students to go downtown during common hour to run errands, get lunch, socialize, all that. So that day, a few of my friends and I were going downtown to get some Panera bread during our long breaks between class, because a lot of my friends at the time, we were all in the same major, so we had the same core classes and then our own extracurriculars. But we did a lot of stuff together. So we're making our way out from the campus through what we called Old Main. And in front of Old Main is like a double wide sidewalk with a bus stop and a 4-way crosswalk. And for some reason, before you can step off the sidewalk onto the crosswalk in this area, there's a double curb. And what I mean by that is that there are 2 steps up or down before you reach the road. There's like 2 tiny, like small little 6-inch curb-sized steps. They're not stairs. This is important for later. They're not stairs, they're just like 6-inch little changes in elevation. Anyway, we get to this crossing area in front of Old Main, and there's a group on the sidewalk protesting something. They got their posters, they're standing in a crowd chanting. It's a big groups. This happens kind of often in this area in front of Old Main. It's like the perfect spot to do this type of thing or have like a fundraiser or put up your stand, so this wasn't something new. But there's quite a few people waiting for the crosswalk as well. So we get to the curb, I take 1 step down, and then we get the do not walk hand signal at the crosswalk so the cars can go. And like I said, it's really crowded, there's a lot going on, my friends and I are talking, so it's all really distracting, and by the time the crosswalk thingy changes to the walking signal, I have completely forgotten that I was still on one of the 6-inch curbs. So I take 1 step, as if I'm on flat ground, and it was indeed not flat ground. And I fell in the slowest, most awkward, most anticlimactic way, just very slowly and awkwardly falling to the ground in a crowd, crossing the street, just super, super embarrassing. And it's not like I twisted my ankle or like just completely ate it. I just went to go take a step as if I was walking on a flat surface. And since there was nothing there, the way that my foot extended and like bended in the step, I can't even describe what it felt like. There was just, it was just this horrible pulling, popping, tugging, burning feeling. So I tried to get up immediately, and my foot is like feeling like it's on fire, and I knew right away that I was not gonna be able to stand on it. But I tried anyway. So I tried to get up, realized immediately I cannot put weight on my foot. I just can't. It's like my foot is like on fire. So I just awkwardly pivoted on the ground and crawled out of the road and just back onto the sidewalk. Because at this point now I'm starting to panic, like, oh my God, the car's gonna have to go. And like I fell in front of all these people, like I gotta get out of here. So my friends were walking sort of in front of me, but then they noticed like halfway across that I fell. And so, like some of them were already across, some of them came back over to see what was going on. And I cannot stress this enough how awkward this was. There was an entire crowd of people protesting on that sidewalk, and now they're all like looking at me like, oh my God, are you okay? And me having terrible social anxiety, I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm totally fine. Like, please don't look at me. Like, stop looking at me. I'm totally good. Meanwhile, I am in so much pain and trying not to cry. So after a little bit, I get up with the help of my friends. They help me up off the ground and we hobble over to Panera Bread. And in my head, this is one of those things where, you know, you fall, you twist your ankle or you move your foot weird and it like really hurts for like 10 minutes and it hurts to walk on it. It's all messed up. But then like, you know, after like 10 minutes, it goes away and you walk it off and you're totally fine. But yeah, no, this was not like that. This was not one of those times because I did not twist my ankle. I fell in just such a weird way and my foot was just in a world of hurt and confusion. And my one roommate, Becca, who was helping me hobble to Panera, was like, hey, if you are still in pain after this, we should go to the hospital. And I was like, absolutely not. Let's not do that. It's fine. Because the hospital is expensive and stuff, and I just like, I don't want to be a bother. I don't know how I'm gonna get there. I don't want to figure out how to pay for it. Like, I will just deal with this injury and whatever it is. So we get to Panera Bread and I order my salad or whatever. And at this point, my foot is throbbing and the pain is really starting to set in. And it's around this point that I'm like, okay, I may have fucked up. And I'm sitting there and I'm eating my little salad and my friend has a little macaroni bread bowl. I don't know why I remember this. And my foot is under the table, kind of raised on a chair. And I'm just like trying not to cry and trying to act normal. Trying to be a big girl. But my shit is actively like rocked right now. And you know how after you rest for a bit with an injury, then when you go to put weight on again after it's like kind of rested, it hurts way more? Well, yeah, that's what's basically happening at this point. And this is also how I know like something is wrong. Because usually, you know, if you twist your ankle and you like rest for a couple minutes, you can get up, you're totally good. Well, I rested and tried to get up and it's so much worse now. So we go to our next class. And keep in mind, downtown is not even on campus. Panera was further in downtown. And Penn State's University Park campus is known for being pretty huge. All of our classes are so far away. So we go to our next class. I struggle, but I get through it. And I have one class left after this. And it's a class that I have with my friends again, because it's for our course major. But of course, this class is like way the heck away from the class that I was just in. It's like a 10-minute walk. But with my foot and the condition it's in, it takes me like 20 minutes to get there. So I get to class like 5 or 10 minutes late. Late enough that everyone is already in class and the professor is already lecturing. By the way, on the way there, I am struggling. Like I am limping, I'm hobbling, I have tears streaming down my face, I am sweating. Like it took me so long to get over to that side of campus that by the time I was still like 5 minutes away, most of the campus sidewalks were empty because everyone was just already in class. Also, I passed by one of my roommates at the time, the one that was like always bitchy to me, and she straight up saw me sweating and like tearing and limping and just looking at me. She just looked at me and just kept going. So fuck you, Maria. That was really mean. Anyway, I hobble into class, sweaty, gimpy, crying a little bit, my hair's frizzy, I'm just a mess. My professor looks at me. I'm sure he was gonna say something about me being late, but saw my condition and just decided otherwise. Like, let's just let her go. I kept hobbling to my seat and I told him something like, sorry, I'm late, my foot hurts. Understatement. I sit down in my seat. My classmates are looking at me like I'm a crackhead. Entire lecture, I'm sitting there with a massive, like, my foot has a heartbeat. It felt like the longest class ever. I'm sitting there trying to take notes on ecology and I'm like dying internally. I'm just sitting there like that meme, like, it's fine, this is fine. When the class is finally over, my friends who saw me fall earlier helped me out of the building and they're like, girl, you need to go to a doctor. Unfortunately, this class is also quite a long walk away from the University Park Medical Center, of course. So my one friend is like, I'll take her. Thank you, Nat. Appreciate that. So she helps me limp over there. Bless her heart. She's like 5 foot. I'm 5'8". So this was a struggle for both of us. We finally get to the medical center. And at this point, I am in shambles. My foot is melting. I am in tears and have been hobbling around in pain for hours. I'm doing my best to keep it together. So I take my gimpy little self over to the front desk. And all I say is, I hurt my foot and I need someone to look at it. And this lady takes one look at me and just looks so sympathetic. And she tells me, I'm so sorry we closed at 5. I check my phone. It is 5:05. I'm about to die. I'm doing my best to not just burst into tears in front of this lady. So I'm like, is there anyone who can see me? Or where can I go? I really need help with my foot. And she just gave me a printout with local urgent care numbers and addresses. So I hobble out, tell my friend that they can't help me. And at this point, I'm just ready to curl up in a ball on the sidewalk and call it quits. But my friend is like, hey, I know a guy with a van. So she calls her guy with a van and he comes and picks us up. to take us to urgent care. So he gets there, they chuck me in the van, and side note, this was kind of a weird van. I still appreciate it, but this van did not have any car seats or benches that like come with the van. It did, however, have a couch tossed in the back, not fixed or anything, just a loose couch. So I get in and sit on this loose couch, and they drive my broken ass to urgent care. So we get there, and like typical urgent care, it's like a 45-minute wait. It might have been longer. I can't really remember at this point. By the way, it has been like 4 or 5 hours now since I originally fell and hurt my foot, and I have been walking around on it this entire time. So I am just sitting on the exam table, exhausted, sore as hell, and very, very sensitive. This doctor, bless him, takes one look at me and says, "You've had a long day, huh?" And I'm like, yeah, I have had a long day. And you know when you're not doing okay, but you're able to kind of like rein it in, but then someone asks you, "Hey, are you okay?" And that's like the straw that breaks the camel's back. It like gives you permission to like not be okay. So that was this moment. So he takes off my shoe and he's kind of poking around on my foot and squeezing it, and I'm sitting there like in so much pain. And for some reason, they unfortunately couldn't really help me fully that day. I guess their person that does x-rays wasn't there at that point. So he just kind of examined it, gave me a compression sock and some crutches, and set me up an appointment to go see an orthopedic doctor at a different place the next day. So I do. I go in the next day, I get my x-ray, and as it turns out, I did not break my foot, but I did fracture my 5th metatarsal, and I tore all the ligaments in my foot. So they strapped on one of those big, hard boots to my foot and prescribed me some painkillers. And I've got the crutches, and now I'm stuck in the boot and crutches for a few months, and they're basically just like, "Don't walk on your foot." Which is super cool and great, because at the time I lived in an off-campus apartment on the 3rd floor, which was the top floor. And this apartment did not have an elevator. It's not very ADA friendly, but it did have stairs, and those stairs were the types of stairs that are outside the building and wobbly. So for months, I had to spider monkey my way up 3 flights of stairs. I just kind of chuck my crutches up a few stairs, put one hand on the rail, one hand on the wall, hop up on one foot for a few stairs, you know, chuck the crutches up a few more, hop up again. It was very graceful. This will come as no surprise, but I cannot lifeguard or play sports with a boot and crutches, so I had to quit both my club sport and my part-time job. This left me feeling really miserable, feeling like I was just gonna miss out on making friends and having college experiences, so I was just really feeling sorry for myself. And at some point early on in this recovery, I was laying in my bed, playing Halo 5, which I've been playing a ton of, especially since hurting my foot. And I got the idea that if I wasn't going to be able to go out and do typical college stuff, then I may as well give Twitch streaming a try. So I was already playing a ton of Halo. I was pretty good at it. I knew of Twitch from my first boyfriend, who used Twitch a lot to watch Super Smash. I also had from a few years prior, like a quick and dirty overlay from said boyfriend, who decided one day to make one for me for fun. Why? I can't remember. I do not know, because I had zero intention of using Twitch. I think maybe he wanted to get into Twitch streaming, so he just practiced making one for me using my gamer tag. But I remembered it, so I got busy. I had zero idea how to stream, and I had never used Twitch before, really, not even to watch streamers. I just had zero experience with Twitch. So I went to YouTube and started looking up tutorials. I learned of OBS for the first time, looked up a few tutorials on how to set it up and use it. I think I started out with just standard OBS, not even OBS Studio. Dug up the old overlay, made a few panel graphics with some of the Adobe software I used for school, and then just kind of prettied up my Twitch channel, tested out the equipment I had. And when I started, I didn't buy any equipment. I had a gaming headset with a mic and a Logitech webcam. The quality wasn't great, but it was a start. I didn't even have like a capture card at the time, so I couldn't stream Halo because I didn't know how without a capture card. So when I first started streaming, I actually started with random horror games. The first game I ever streamed was an indie horror game called Welcome to the Game 2. Just a super small random game. So clearly I had no idea how Twitch worked, because I'm just starting out and I pick a game that on the Twitch directory had a total of like 20 viewers, and I had like 0 to 2 of them. So I did that for a few weeks before trying out Dead by Daylight and the Outlast games, and I kind of started building up an audience from there. And then I had to take a break for a few months because I got sick and I had to leave school. So I streamed for a few months and then stopped streaming for a few months. And then when I came back, I did Dead by Daylight again. So I actually didn't even start streaming Halo 5 until like 5 or 6 months into streaming, because I didn't have a capture card and I couldn't afford one at the time. After a while though, I figured out how to stream my gameplay from my Xbox to the Xbox app on my PC and then capture it on OBS. And it was super janky and really laggy and not great quality, but it did the trick at the time. And after a while, after I got a few donations from Twitch viewers and started slowly growing, I eventually bought an Elgato capture card and then could properly stream my gameplay, so the quality got a lot better. And yeah, just kept on streaming and learning and investing back into my setup. And now 7 years later, here we are. Lots of stuff has happened along the way. I have so many stories. Like, cool stuff has happened. Weird stuff has happened. You know, I've had so many strange encounters with people on the internet because of streaming. A lot of good opportunities. I've ended up partnered with Twitch and Halo and had sponsors and been to events and done all this charity stuff and met a lot of cool people. So just this thing that started out as me just completely obliterating my foot and deciding to stream as like something to keep me busy while I was recovering has turned into like one of my favorite things to do in the whole world. And I've grown this community and had all these opportunities and met my boyfriend, who's now moving from the UK to the US to come live with me. And I'm partnered with Halo, which is like my favorite game of all time. Little me would be so confused as to how this happened. So yeah, it's just crazy and the journey continues. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this story time. Let me know if you enjoyed it and are interested in more of these. There are like a handful of story times that come up in my stream that I have to tell like somewhat occasionally, that I feel like I could turn into a few different story times. So let me know if you like these and you want more. My other social links are in the description below. I stream every Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday around 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, and I'm usually playing Halo. Like and subscribe if you like. But anyway, thank you guys for watching.